Hello, and welcome back to the Codex. Right now, we're about to showcase the new Ascension game mode, specifically the Belly of the Beast event version. With me right now, I've got two of my friends. I've got Wildcat and Guns here. They're both using frames that are specifically somewhat set up for this event, as you'll see, to make it a little bit easier. Wildcat is using a Wisp, which, of course, just the modes will make that better. It gets some survivability, some crowd control from the shock modes. Unfortunately, we did test it, and it doesn't appear that the haste mode affects the speed of the what's it called, guys? I forget the name of the actual the whatever the name of the thing is at the end that you're escorting. It doesn't appear to speed it up, unfortunately, because that was the hope. But he is using Gloom on his Wisp, and Guns is using Neja with Silence on. So between Silence and Gloom, the Eximus won't be able to use any of their abilities. For example, the Jade Light Eximus that are absolutely flooding the mission on the event version. You just turn them off, because that's what Silence does. So basically just turns the mission off. And then Gloom on top of that, everybody's going to be moving at negative Mach 10. And I'm playing as Jade, because Jade Shadows update. So why not? Should be pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and jump into it here.
I'm bringing depression, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Makes everyone lethargic. Nah. Y'all set up and good, Cameron?
Yep. I will say I do have my Neja is invigorated. So with the power strength.
Yeah, unfortunately,
No, you did that little additive.
I did not have any good ones for the week.
Yeah, neither did I. It was tough.
I'll do a quick breakdown of the video, or of the new game mode 2 as we go through it, just explaining how exactly you do it. It is fairly simplistic, but nonetheless, I'll make sure that the details are covered. So you start off the mission for essentially just about 1 minute protecting the moat collector here. It's quite easy, especially with the Wisp here. Just throw down all the moats, shock everyone, gives it some health, kill everyone that comes too close. It's almost impossible to fail this part. We are doing this on Steel Path, by the way, which if you do have Steel Path unlocked, I would highly recommend that you only do this mission on Steel Path, assuming you have the appropriate builds for it, because you do get more of the Vestigial and the Volatile modes. And if you summon the Sister Parvos, that you can optionally summon here, she gives even more modes, and on Steel Path specifically, a guaranteed Arcane drop. On regular Steel Path, you get less modes from the mission, you get less modes from the Sister, and it's only a chance for the Arcane. So you definitely want to do this on Steel Path to maximize your gains. As you can see, this part's very easy. Later on, though, there gets to be quite a bit of enemies.
I'm gonna go ahead and start setting the moats on the lift.
Onward we go. I would recommend that if you're doing this in a coordinated team, rather than doing it on pubs, for example, coordinate with the people that you're playing with to give specific jobs that you do each time. Like, one person is a dedicated core grabber, for example. At least one person is a dedicated core grabber. And what I'm referring to is, if you look at the screen here, it says elevator power. You have to throw in these green cores, power cores, to get the elevator to rise up. Once I find one, I'll show you an example.
News over here as well. I've got a sister beacon you can showcase.
Yeah, I already did it, by the way.
On waypoint.
So as you can see, Guns was able to get the elevator starting to move up there. This sister beacon that you're about to see my screen right here, here it is. You have to find 3 of these. Once you pick one up, you'll see a meteor on your screen. It says optional sister beacons, 1 out of 3. Once you find 3 sister beacons, that makes it to where once you get the elevator to the very top, you will fight the optional Sister of Parvos little mini-boss, and she is how you get a little bit of extra motes and a guaranteed arcane drop. And it's one of the new arcanes, to clarify, one of the arcanes that came out with this update, so it does definitely speed up your ability to get all of the new stuff. Because you can get some for free rather than having to use the pity system, essentially. Now, when you're finding these motes, I don't know if I can drop this. This one right here is a regular ionic charge. So there's 2 kinds of ionic charges. There's the ionic charges, which is what I just found, and then there's boosted ionic charges. If you can find a boosted ionic charge, which they have the same greenish color. I think the caps might be a little larger. But when you throw those in, it gives it more power than the regular charges, and it also makes the elevator move faster. So you definitely want to look for those. Even if you have enough power to where the elevator is continuously going up, if you don't have a boosted charge in, try to find a boosted one to speed the mission up. Because obviously the more of these you can do per hour, the more quickly you can get Jade, the Even Song, the Arcanes, everything else, so on. I think the event's pretty fun, too. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I'm having a blast so far. It's definitely... I mean, I don't think I have to say this, but it's definitely new. I do like the optional Sister of Parvos. That's
cool.
Degree of difficulty as well as reward. Nothing too insane though. A moderate, varying degree of difficulty. I admittedly didn't think it would be as easy as it is.
Well, it definitely,
it's
definitely
not.
depends on the builds you have.
Though that is true, yeah. Because there is a fair, we are running it fairly efficiently. Emphasis on the word fairly.
There we go, I got the last sister beacon there. So once you find the last sister beacon, there's no benefit to finding more of them. In fact, I think the rest of them might despawn anyway. So once you get 3 out of 3, don't worry about this anymore. The only thing you have left is just doing the regular mission. So at that point, just focus on getting the boosted ionic charges to get the elevator to the top as fast as you possibly can. I will say, regarding the fact that so much of this mission centers around hunting all the extra rooms here to get the charges, to get the sister beacons, your team would highly benefit from using a Cloudwalker Wukong build or a Razor Ring Blitz Titania, because those are basically the 2 fastest frames in the game in terms of being able to fly around and find the extra resources that you need that this mission utilizes. Speaking of which, have you guys been able to find a few of those boosted charges?
Oh, I've been throwing them in every time I find one.
I say, I think you've been nabbing them before I get to them.
Look, we may not be the brightest, but we see shiny, we pick it up, man.
Yeah, I've just found one if you want to show them.
Yeah, I should just found one too. So here is a boosted ionic charge. It's slightly taller, I believe, than the regular ones. Although it'll also say boosted ionic charge. So you find these, throw this in, and the elevator gets a little bit of a speed boost, along with it giving more power than a regular charge. So just make sure that the power is always above 0. If you do hit 0, the mission doesn't fail, the elevator just halts. So it just makes the mission, a little bit less efficient if you're not keeping it constantly charged. Now, we're about to get to the top here. You're going to see the Sister of Parvos will spawn. Highly recommend that if you have a good on-call crewmate, go ahead and have your whole team save your crewmates for this part right here. Throw your crewmates out, and then she'll just get destroyed, basically, especially if you're using a Kuvazar modded out crewmate. You see, I'm not even really doing anything. Crewmates do all the work. Very easy. Since we're on Steel Path, she will drop some volatile motes there, anywhere between 2 to 4, and a guaranteed arcane drop. So that's very good. Now the mission is almost over. It just becomes an extraction. Oh, she also drops some Steel Essence right there, as you can see on Steel Path. She drops the same amount that Acolytes drop. So you get 2 or 4 with a booster. Now all you have to do is extract this capsule out. There is a ton of enemies that spawn at this part, so do be careful. That this is the reason why Silence is good. This is the reason why Gloom is good. Any kind of debuffs that you can bring here will definitely make this go much more smoothly, along with obviously the ability to dish out enough damage to kill the enemies that spawn here. And we are just about there. It's basically like a much more insane version of the hijack mission type, for those of you that have played that.
You did it.
And then you see, also just for beating the mission, you do get a amount of the volatile motes.
Which do vary depending on, there's something you can do effective, but it's not a set amount. It varies from 2 to 4 for the sister, and then it's 8 to 10 for the actual completion of the mission.
Yeah, it does vary, yeah. The vestigial motes are the regular kind of motes. These come from the Ascension mission itself. The volatile motes only come from the Operation version of this mission. So volatile modes are temporary. These will only be around for the next month while the Belly of the Beast is up. The vestigial modes, though, will stick around forever, because the Ascension game mode is a permanent new game mode on Uranus. It's the permanent new Brutus node. So you can always get these, but if you want to get the volatile modes and get access to the store objects that these buy, you do need to do the event version of the mission, which is strictly better than regular Ascension, because you get everything that Ascension gives, and then on top of that, you get the event drops. So there's no reason not to do the Belly of the Beast version. So that's been a quick rundown and just a showcase of how that mission works. If you guys have any questions or any comments about that, feel free to leave it down below. And if you liked the video, consider dropping a like and subscribe if you feel that I've earned it, of course. Always try to bring good content to you guys. There's going to be lots more Jade content coming out this week. Tons to go over, status changes, Ember reworks. We've already dropped a video on Jade herself and her weapons. Fantastic. I love all 4 of those new items. Once I get the Arcanes, I'll definitely be going over those and much more. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one.